Kia ora, Paula, can you hear us?
Kia ora, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, my
We
friend.
can.
Tēnā kōrua.
Tēnā koe.
Right, okay, right, set myself up. I just about that interrupting the vote thing.
Yep.
And ka tika kōrua, you're quite right about that. But just as a matter of interest, for if you watch the whole vote, Chloe actually stopped it twice. She stopped it twice, called a point of order, and Jerry Brownlee sat her down and said she was interrupting the vote.
Yeah.
So, and that was on this very same day, so. But I agree with you, it's just...
It's actually
bullshit,
it is bullshit, but it's also kind of yesterday's news, and
it is what it is,
nothing's
yeah.
going to change now. And I'm sure next year, when there's a different government and National will bitch and moan when exactly the same thing is done to them. So that just seems to be politics. But I'm sure that's not the only thing you've messaged us for, Paula. What else is going on?
Well, you just say what's happening in the week, and actually, I kind of want to talk about what's happened in the past 3 weeks. It's been 21 days, right, since Bomber's article about the darkest day in democracy in the House with the sanctions on that vote that day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I read Bomber's thing, and I was already triggered and wild then. So anyway, we kind of got a movement going. And so every day for 21 days, given that 3 electorates, 210,000 constituents don't have a voice in the House.
Yep.
That's 3 electorates worth. I've sort of been contacting every single, 21 MPs, one each day.
Right, gotcha.
The ones that voted against, supported has been sent, starting with Christopher Luxon.
Mm-hmm. Did you get any responses?
Followed by Nicola, followed by Parmjeet, followed by, the raft of the celebrities. We all know who they are. I think maybe on the 7th day, sent one to Hannah to say welcome back to the House.
Yep.
Then got back on to Chris Bishop and the rest of them. Eventually got to Jerry Brownlee, the Speaker of the House, to talk about that very stuff article, which was... So I sent him the email pointing out the party seal and all the rest of it, letting him know concern for the safety of our female MPs in that House, all of those issues. And also very concerned the safety is even more real given it's the Deputy Prime Minister who was actually acting Prime Minister while he was doing all that harassment. So that email went to Jerry. Then Louise Upston and Judith Collins. Interestingly enough, Nicola and Judith responded.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, okay.
It is. So Nicola responded saying, oh gosh, this is too big for my pay packet, so she forwarded it on to Jerry.
Yep.
So that's when I sent it to Jerry. And you already know what the issues are about what we're talking about, and I might even get to that. But then so I'm waiting for a response from Jerry. That's when I spoke to him. Judith Collins, however, God bless her, actually responded. And I challenged her on those very things about what are the actual standing orders. There's too much inconsistent reporting in the public arena. So I asked her for the actual final report from the Privileges Committee, the actual standing orders and all the rest of it. She did actually return that to me via the clerk.
Oh, okay.
And yeah. So to clarify, you can actually, the actual charge was, and I think that's already been out there, could have the effect of whatever it is.
All right.
Could have the effect of intimidating a member from performing their duties, I think was the charge. The could have effect was the question. There's a difference between have effect and actually you might be having effect. So that's all about the finger guns. I'm actually not really interested in their responses because the last one went to Tama Portaka.
Right.
Yeah. And given that Tama Portaka is from all 3 of those electorates, he's from Taihape, he's in Hamilton, which actually crosses all of those 3 electorates, Waikato, Hauraki, Waiariki. He's also from there, and of course, he's my cousin from the Rangitike. So I sent him an email. It's the one email they all started with tēnā koe e 10 minutes, blah, 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 in their positions. That one started with tēnā koe e te whanaunga. Then I sent him all 19 of the other emails so he could catch up with the play. And then I asked him one simple question, up to cars? And it ended there. So I'm probably going to bump into him at Takuta's tangi
Yeah.
And we're probably going to have a bit of up to cows.
Well, just as we wrap up, because there's one other person who wants to have a chat, Paula, is there anything you want to speak to do with Takutai?
I do. That is where I wanted to go.
Yep.
I was supposed to do the last email tonight, but given the invite the other day, so Margaret e tuku mihi, me oki oki tātou, mo te wahine kua rere atu ki te pō. Yeah, it's a very sad day for us back home. She was quite a vibrant woman, very connected to our family. I know her parents really well. We were in shock, but we knew she'd been sick since 2024, which is why you actually haven't seen her visibly out there like the rest of the team. But she was there. I cannot believe she was in the house yesterday.
I know, it's maddening, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is crazy. And I think the timing that it's today, it's the 21st day today. So you raised the point earlier, Pat. That's why I rang, because you raised the point about all this talk about doing tikanga in the house and all of that happened today.
Yeah, obviously I got a little bit grumpy at the start of the show and had to stop, but I think I've got my wits back about me now. It did make me angry, and we're going to play it, the One News, but watching people from the other side of the island, I think Shane Jones is one of them, all showing emotion, all singing.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is tikanga. This is actually
That's
what
right.
you guys refused to allow in the House when it came to those MPs protesting. And now I'm going to be careful and respectful, because it's not about me and my anger. It's about Takutai and but it's disgusting that it feels a little bit. I don't know if you remember Paula or Chewie, but at the start of this governing term, when they shat on Māori so much, I asked the question a dozen times: why do Māori go and then support this government when they want to roll them out to do a haka for dignitaries? It's like, this government's shown no loyalty to Māori. Why are Māori showing any loyalty to this government? And it felt exactly the same kind of anger. It was like, this government has said, we are not going to have in this House a consideration for tikanga. And then what happened today? It was correct in its consideration for tikanga. I found it to be infuriating. It made me really angry watching that news story.
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was bewildered by it too, so yeah.
All right, Paula.
Yeah, so ngā mihi kia kore.
Yeah.
Tātou.
Lovely to hear from you.